Okay, guys, Miss Pariseau here. Some people were having trouble with IXL AA3, our wonderful word problems. So I thought I would go ahead and take a look at those with you and just give you a couple ideas about how to think through them. So let's see if it's taking a little while. I highly recommend that you have paper out with you. So I'm going to be using a Post-it note on my computer only because that is the only way I can also show you my work while also looking at IXL at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and just jump. Oh, it only has one level, so never mind, not jumping anywhere. All right, so I just want to show you kind of how you should be approaching these. The first thing that you want to take a look at is you're looking for, if it's a system, the two different things that you're going to be writing. So if I'm looking at the graph even, it tells me hours compared to dollars. So I already know what my X and my Y stand for because the graph is helping me out with that. All right. So, let's get that back up again. All right. So Vera is investing some money in equipment and employees to help grow her business. Recently, she spent $50 in equipment and so on. So we can read this. So let me just give you a heads up. When they're talking about spending money and then they're going to do something to sell money, that's actually the two equations that you're going to write. Spending and let's say call it earning. Okay. Because when you're going to write an equation for how much it costs you to make something, and then you're going to write an equation to represent how much you earn for those things that you make. So currently we see, so the Y is her total dollars. So the amount of money that she's going to spend in total, it looks like she spent $50 on equipment, and she hires a server who gets $15 per hour. So X is my hours. And if I wanted to write that note, X is hours, Y is total money. Again, this is if I had if I was doing this on scrap paper or in a test, I would be writing all that out just to kind of make sure I'm staying on track. All right, so then it says Vera is hoping to make up these expense at the next job that is scheduled, which pays a base of 40. So that means that she starts off getting $40 no matter what. And then she gets $20 per hour that she works. So if we add that all together, that will give us the total amount of money that she will make. So it's still talking about total dollars. This is total dollars spent. This is total dollars made. So it's still money. So those are our systems. That's our system of equations. So let's go ahead and take a look at what does that look like on the graph. All right. So we want to know, she wants to cancel out her expenditures, which basically means she wants to break even. So the amount of money she spends to her business, she needs to make that exact same amount. So that way she kind of breaks even. All right, so we're going to take a look at her expenses first, which is what she's spending. So I'm going to click on expenses. And if I bring up my note here, so she's starting at $50. So I'm going to click 50, but my slope is 15. So, but I'm counting by tens here. So that's not going to work. So, but I could say, okay, well, $15 for every one, but that's not really going to help me out. So I'm going to have to play around with some numbers since I can't use my slope. So I'm like, all right, well, what about $50 plus if she works, pays a guy for 2 hours, how much will she spend? That would be 50 plus 30. So that would be $80. So there's my X value. So if X is 2, then my Y value is 80. So that gives me another point there. So 2 and 80. All right. Then I'm going to click on pay, which is the amount of money that she's going to earn. All right. So my Y-intercept is 40. And this one, it helps out a little bit. It's $20 per hour. So again, 40. And it's $20 per hour. So there's 10, 20 per hour, and I can graph it that way. Now go back up to the question, how much would the job need to pay? So basically to cancel out, it needs to break even. It's basically the solution. So it's not 2, we're looking at dollars, so it's $80. Okay. All right. I'll do one more with you here. And hold on one second. Oh, I'm hoping I'm making that video. Okay. Let's see. Let me pull that up and let me get my scrap paper. All right. New paper. So Roger's comparing the cost of cell phone services. The phone he wants costs, all right, so we have Belleville. So I'm just doing a quick scan. So at Belleville, the phone costs $40 and the unlimited calling plan is $3 per day, plus $3 per day. So if I did that, I could figure out how much total money he spent. So X is the number of days. Y is total money. All right. At Espinoza, all right, you can get the same exact phone, but this time it's $60. But an unlimited plan would only cost him $1 per day. Okay. So the X and the Y mean the same thing here. So let's go ahead and scroll down to see how we're going to graph them. So I start with Belleville. All right, so Belleville is 40. So I've got that 40, but again, take a look. My slope is 3, and I'm counting by tens, and down here I'm counting by fives. So that is rather inconvenient. Okay, so let's see. I need to count by 5. Let's see, tens. Ooh, I'm going to have to just kind of play around with it. So I'm going to have to plug in some X and Y numbers here till I get a nice clear point. All right, let's say I want my Y value to be 60 or I want my X value to be 10. Can I do 10? I think I do 10. 40 plus 3, let's say if X is 10, that means 10 days. 40 plus 30, that would give me 70. All right, so that would mean 10, 70 would be my coordinate. Do I have that coordinate? I have a 10, 60, 70. Boom. There we go. You got it, Belleville. Otherwise, you just, again, you can hear I'm just kind of guessing and checking right now to kind of try to find a point that I can get. I'm sure there's a lot easier way to do that. I can't think of it on the spot right now. If you have an idea, please feel free to share with me. All right, so the y-intercept is 60 here. So basically, I need something that's going to have a slope of 1. Oh. So if I do 5 over 5, 10 over 10, so if I go up 10 over 10, I could do that for this one. So, okay, 60, and I'm going to check it before I submit. Go up 10 and over 5, 10. I'm going to see if I agree with that point. I should get 1070 as well. So let's see if that worked out. 60 plus 1 times, I said X was 10. Yes. Okay, so if you're taking your boxes, it's got to match that slope. That makes sense. Silly Miss Paraso. All right, so again, if you take a look here for the one with the 40, I went up 10, 20, 30 over 5, 10. 30 over 10 simplifies to a slope of 3. So we're trying to look for that kind of slope. That's how we could use the slope to help us out. Boom, I figured you out, IXL. All right, so what's the question? After some number of days, the two options would end up having, how long would that take? So that took them 10 days. So if they only want it for 10 days, that's great. They're just the same. Otherwise, it looks like Espinoza is the plan for you. I feel like, trying to find my window here, people. Sorry. Oop. Okay. So that gives you the idea of what you're doing for the IXL AA3. Let me know if you have any questions. Toodles.